day is for the thief, one day for the owner of the house. But ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, has reversed the role. It is now every day for the owner of the house. If you're involved in bribery, over-invoicing, or any shady deal, the day of reckoning has come. ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, is watching you. If you're reported for any corrupt practice, you'll be investigated, prosecuted, and punished. Corruption is harmful to our nation. Join the campaign against it by reporting any corrupt practice to ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Let we join hands with ICPC, make them better. Let's make Nigeria great again.
2 decades ago, Nigeria occupied that unenviable position as the second most corrupt nation in the world by the global anti-corruption watchdog, the Transparency International. The resolve to change the narrative birthed the first executive bill that was sent to the National Assembly by the former President Olusegun Obasanjo. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Bill, which sought to proscribe corruption and prescribe punishment for offenders, was assented to by the former president on 13th June 2000, and the commission was formally inaugurated on the 29th September of that year. Today on the program, we shall look at how the commission's journey began 20 years ago. Welcome to Corruption Must Go, ICPC's weekly television program. I am your host, Muruna Barnabas Atiai. The commission, which was built on a three-pronged mandate of enforcement, prevention and mass mobilization and public enlightenment, was expected to win Nigerians from their craving for filthy lucre and other forms of corruption. Since its inception in 2000, ICPC has had 4 substantive chairmen, namely Honorable Justice Mustafa Akombi of blessed memory, Justice Emmanuel Ayola, Mr. Ekpo Nta, and the current chairman, Professor Bolaji Owasongi, who assumed leadership of the commission in February 2019. Let us hear the experiences of the last 2. Stay with us.
Well, I was appointed a board member of ICPC and was sworn in on 29th November 2011. But at the swearing in, Mr. President decided to swear me in as the acting chairman of the commission. So as soon as we had the first board meeting, we decided to do stock taking of what we met in the commission and prepared a 5-year strategic action plan, 2012 to 2017, that would guide us on what we were supposed to do within the mandate of the commission. We embarked on massive retraining of all the staff. I do remember that one of the things we did then was to set up a training committee, which hitherto was being handled in administration by the line officer, who was the training officer. Now we set up a committee and had representatives from all departments and units on that training committee, and they drew up the training calendar for every one of their staff, which we fitted into the budget. We put down a very transparent process and the type of training we assumed every staff needed. We also knew that with the kind of funding we were receiving, there was no way we would carry out the entire mandate that was in the Act. So we decided to say, okay, let's look at the most critical sectors of the economy or the country's life that we should impact on. And we picked health, we picked education, and we picked the transportation sector. Now, in education, we picked the tertiary institutions and limited ourselves to the university and carried out a systemic study of what I would call corrupt practices there. And what eventually came out was the University System Study and Review, which is being implemented up till today, 2020. We also looked at the health sector, and we say that health sector is like a tripod. And so the basic one on which you can build a successful health management system was the primary health sector. So we decided to deal with the primary health sector. And the last one that had to do with aviation, no, not aviation, the transport sector, we picked ports, seaports, and aviation, and these substantial changes. In addressing those three sectors, we looked at adjunct processes that help those particular sectors. I take the aviation sector in particular. We extended our functions to cover acquisition of visas, which was giving Nigeria a very bad name internationally. And so we decided to help all the embassies in Nigeria to address the fraudulent practices in acquiring visas. And today, that particular function that we got ourselves involved in has brought a lot of respect to this country. And I take the UK government, for example. The UK government actually sent an emissary to come to ICPC then to thank us that because of our activities as an anti-corruption agency, we have been able to change the processes of visa acquisition in Nigeria, and that they had drawn on those experiences to do it worldwide. And that led into a beautiful partnership where they gave us a fraud detection machine for documents, and they took over our Lagos office to do special training. I understand that training is still ongoing right now in our Lagos office. And it became very, very interesting when they felt they were not too sure about an applicant. They immediately sent it back to ICPC. And we had a good relationship with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. For the universities, we set up a committee that drew participation from the National Universities Commission and ICPC staff, and went around, selected 6 selected universities, as a matter of fact, that we ran our pilot studies on. And came out with a full report which was acceptable to NUC, and which is still being applied today in trying to correct the ills in that system. I do remember that when we identified sexual harassment, 1 or 2 newspapers wrote editorials seeking to ridicule the commission, that what's your business there? But 7 years down the line, 6, 7 years down the line, that sexual harassment became almost an epidemic. And the moment any infractions occurred, the same newspapers were the first to say, go to ICPC. They are the experts in dealing with these issues. You see, we had all this foresight, and we did not really bother about being abused or not abused. We were very focused as to the kind of things we wanted. And all the educational reforms we did in this country, from primary level to the tertiary level, including producing teaching guide for the national values curriculum at the primary, secondary, and college of education level is something that has become widely accepted internationally today.
It's been mixed in terms of outcomes and experience, but I would say that it's been gratifying, and we have been able to record some successes. In the past 17 months, I think that we have been able to confront the challenges of not just governance, but of dealing with corruption in a system like Nigeria, where it is endemic. We have tried to review our approach to the entire anti-corruption issue. These are with regard to the operational angle of our work. With regard to the administrative and the infrastructure component, we have tried to improve the infrastructure that we met on the ground, especially in the areas of forensic, which can assist modern investigation. In today's world, IT drives everything. And if you don't have the capacity to investigate using IT, then of course you are going to struggle. So we've tried to fully operationalize a forensic unit, trained staff in the to be specialized for polygraphing, handwriting, phone and digital devices analysis, cybercrime and security, and all that. And we've succeeded in doing all that within the year. We've also escalated capacity building for other operatives in investigation, in legal, in a systematic manner that will help to bring them up to date in the cutting edge of their work. And so, for example, we introduced the lunch hour capacity building thing for legal department once a month. That's where you bring judges, accomplished people to come and speak on specific, issues, which helps the. We have also escalated capacity building with international component and exposure to our staff. Last year, about 2019, about 40 people or thereabouts were trained outside the country in this regard, apart from those who are trained within the country. So basically, the experience has been mixed. I think that what we could say is that the capacity to deliver on the mandate of the Commission is available if properly channeled. That is not to say that we have not seen weak points. We have seen a number of weak points. There are many people who are not living up to the expectation of the offices that they occupy or the certificates that they parade. But at the same time, we are gratified that there are people who, with a little incentive, direction, guidance, are showing fantastic promise. So there's a balance of some sort, and we're doing our best to pull up those who are weak and to sustain those who are strong. Well, I mean, ICPC is 20. It's gratifying that God has given us the privilege to be here at this time. We will be modest, especially given the situation at hand, not just in Nigeria, but globally. We're looking at a few activities to celebrate, apart from the logo, to indicate and let the public know that ICPC, as the very first anti-corruption and integrity institution, was established 20 years ago. So we have the Integrity Award for the public service, federal, which we introduced last year. We would have a second one. We have a youth essay competition for junior and senior secondary schools in order to get their views about the fight against corruption and what young people should be doing. And then we also have a music competition for the best anti-corruption song that can be composed by our talented, creative community within the country. The plan is to spend 20 million as gifts for these three categories for ICPC at 20. So we will spend 20 million. for ICPC at 20. And this will be divided across these 3 categories. Of course, the money will not be won by just 3 people. There will be a spread for runner-up, second, third runner-ups, and those who participate, and perhaps some institutions that have produced some of the people that. So these are the major things. Before COVID-19 escalated within the country, we had planned to have an international conference which would have been physically convened, but we are converting that now to a virtual conference, which hopefully we will do before the end of the 3rd quarter. Well, I think that our vision is to prepare the Commission for the future. And that vision we began to implement before even COVID-19 came. You recall that last year we had empowered our state offices, management staff, and other people with digital devices and capacity and technology for us to be able to hold virtual meetings, for example. This commission started holding virtual meetings with state offices, I think around October or November last year, without us knowing that this was going to happen. We also, with the support of development partners and donors, started an electronic data management system to digitize our operations, the receipt of petitions, record keeping, processing, improvement in our interview rooms, and then to connect our state offices. All of this we started since last year. We've acquired, as I said earlier on, top-grade modern forensic equipment. We acquired biometric machines so that in accordance with the law, we can profile suspects who are brought here. We are also upgrading the profile of staff and giving everybody smart ID cards, which will give you access control to the premises. We're doing the same thing in state offices, and we're digitizing the records from year 2000 to date, so that all of the records of the Commission will be in soft copy, not just hard copies. And then, of course, we are integrating the operations with legal, with admin, with finance, and creating a digital work environment.
Welcome back. Some of the pioneer staff also narrate their experiences.
I joined the commission in 2002, February, as an investigator. And I rose through the ranks. I was head of Adamawa State Office from 2007 to 2015. And then I was redeployed back to the headquarters as the head of human resources. I have had experiences with the commission because I started, like I said earlier, I started as an investigator, and I was opportune to have traveled all over the country. In fact, some of the states I have gone through all the local governments. Now I am head of the human resources as an admin officer, and the commission has exposed me to a lot of experiences.
I was employed to the commission in 2001. I had the privilege of being the secretary to an honorable member and Honorable Justice Mustafa Akambi, the pioneer chairman of the ICPC. So looking back at 20 years and now, the commission had performed creditably well, and we have continued to grow from leap and bounds. The structure had been strengthened tremendously, and within the ambit of the Enabling Act, the Commission had performed creditably well. The board chairman, Honorable Professor Bolaji Owasonye, for the tremendous reform he had put in place to strengthen the institution and explore new frontiers in the fight against corruption. It is my hope and prayer that the tempo will be sustained and ICPC would grow to celebrate Golden Jubilee.
I work with the Operations Directorate. I was employed into the commission in the year 2001. On grade level 8, and I was one of the pioneer staff brought in to work with the late Honorable Fadaka. It's been a very, very awesome experience. You know, starting as a grade level 8 officer, and today I'm a grade level 14 officer. If you know, I've come a very long way. You know, with lots of experience garnered, with courses attended. I think my horizon has been broadened, and it's been a good one so far.
My experiences have been nice. When we were employed, we were just about 6 staff in the Department of Finance and Accounts. We were actually doing almost everything in the account department. We prepare the salary, we prepare the nominal rule for budgets. We did virtually every work that was done, like in the ministries, were done by a whole lot of staff. The 6 of us were able to meet up to do that assignment. Then presently, I am no longer in account department. I am in financial investigation unit as an investigator. So for the 18 years I've spent in the commission, I've undergone so many trainings which have enabled me to be a good investigator.
If you no talk, I go talk. Baboon dey chop, monkey dey walk. People crying, complaining. Shey na like this, e go dey. We dey pray make e change, but not for friend man to fire. Which kind life be this, yo? Which kind life be this, yo? Brother, sister, stop the bribery, don't be greedy, yo. We must make corruption end.
From the experiences shared, it is evident that ICPC has come a long way and has put in remarkable efforts to bring corruption in Nigeria to the barest minimum. While the scourge has not gone away, it is no longer business as usual for corrupt people. In fact, borrowing a phrase from Langston Hughes, the Afro-American literary artist, everybody no longer wears their moral like a loose garment in carrying out government business. That's our package on this week's edition. Keep a date with us same time, same station as we bring you success stories from our enforcement activities next week. Don't forget to stay safe. Lock down corruption, lock down COVID-19. Bye for now.